Hey guys, this is Jacoby of Jacoby Gems. Thank you for once again coming back home, family. For those of you that happen to be new here, welcome. I definitely hope that you hear something today that will persuade you to stay. I think I'm gonna just put this on TikTok and make it about 10 minutes. So today is the 3-year anniversary of my mother's passing, and in honor of my bold, unapologetically honest mother, after she got to a point in her healing, she just stopped caring. My mother was an author of several books, Turning Pain into Power, From Ichabod to Praise, The Journey to she from the brinks of darkness to. My mom has written about seven books, right? And in one of her books in particular, my mom started to very, very expressly so expose her uncle, her stepfather, a couple people in the family, and in close proximity, whom essayed her. And it put the family in an uproar. My mom would go through things when she would see people sneak dissing from my daddy's side of the family, messy Betty, so I can't stand till this day. And we gonna get into that. And she would block them and delete them off of Facebook. Like, my mama didn't play about herself because my mom was not a messy woman. I've never walked in the room and heard my mom on the phone gossiping about somebody's business or, oh, girl, let me tell you this and let me tell you that, and just all that other mean girl stuff that I'm not accustomed to. It's just certain dynamics about a woman that I have had to grow to understand and get to know based off of how other women are. Not because I was raised by the type of woman that a lot of women are. So, first of all, the way I found out my mother was dead was in the most heinous, insensitive way that has given me PTSD on its own. The night before my mother passed away, I had spoke to her twice the night before because I had to do a presentation on linking ancient Samaria to Canaan, Jerusalem, Israel, and to West Africa on Moray Zion Lexus channel. And I was very nervous. And I was calling my mom because she's a history major and she, spoke life into me, so on and so forth. We walked the band, right? Then I spoke to her that night right before. And I could tell she was struggling with her breathing, but I was just calling to thank her for speaking life into me. We walked the band, telling her how much I love her, XYXI, and she gave me some in-depth instructions that I shared before. And so last time I talked to my mom was at like 9 o'clock that night. I could not go to sleep, nothing. So I'm up. I'm on my love seat. I finally fall asleep at about 3 something in the morning. And unbeknownst to me, my daddy was trying to call me. And I hear boom, 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 like real, real loud on my downstairs door. And I scream, why are you knocking on my door like that? Because this isn't the only time this person has done this. Your mother is dead. Like with this screeching, high-pitched, very insensitive voice. Like, wait a minute. This is how me and my son had to find out that my mama dead. But when your mother was dead, and my father found out before you found out, he rushed to the nursing home to make sure that you would not walk in there to see your dead mother. And your mama was good and old. And my mama was only 56 years old when she passed away. Then while I'm driving to the hospital, the same person is in the car being hysterical. And mind you, my daughter doesn't even know that my mother is dead yet because she's with her father. And I'm in the car driving to the hospital with my son, and you're in the car freaking out. I get to the hospital. I go to the room. All I could do was scream. My big cousin gets there. My homie gets there. And all I could do was literally go outside and run. She's a runner. She's a track star. Like my mom used to run. Like take laps around the church. Stop. Do a dance for the Most High and run. I'm a runner. My baby ran track. My daughter. Family full of runners. And all I could do was run. I literally went outside to run. And the one person who I thought would understand my mental state of being asked my big cousin, is she high? Excuse the fuck out of me. And if I am, and if I am, my big cousin had to say her mother just died. So then that goes on, right? The same cousin who I done the story time about before, the day that my mother got sick, before she passed away, and we got sick together. My big cousin, who's a known daughter of Oshun, told my grandmother that she hate my mother. Didn't tell my mama. My mama didn't know. I didn't know. Because if I knew that she felt that way about my mama, when I walked into my uncle's funeral, I would have washed her the way I've been wanting to wash her. But she proceeded to put my mother's earrings in her ear, and my mama got sick. And y'all know how I feel about stuff like that. She showed up for the funeral. And I literally, we sat downstairs and we talked at my grandmother's house. And I told her, I said, you the last person I wanted to see. And you know, I really want to put my hands on you. And I know it'll be a challenge, but it'll be fun. Because the way I'm going to black out, I'm going to crash all the way out. And this is my cousin, who's my senior, who I should be able to have a lot of respect for. We share the same name. She's in the Navy. The day of my mother's, the wake or whatever, I'm upstairs and I'm getting drapery together. Mind you, my great aunt then pulled up to the house, then took this same cousin and my grandma out to eat, ain't said nothing to me, ain't said nothing to my kids. I go downstairs to get my grandma's iron. My great aunt, her children, my uncle, his wife, they all downstairs about to go out to eat. Ain't said nothing to me and my kids, but I'm going downstairs to get the iron so that I can iron out the mauve-colored silk fabric to drape over a rod with covers and with silver Swarovski crystal vases and floral stuff for my mother's funeral. Then I'm asked, oh, y'all want something? Because they going to Giordano's or whatever to go out to eat. Mind you, my mother's favorite restaurant. But wouldn't have asked anything if I didn't go downstairs and say something flippant at the mouth. Then let's not talk about the rehearsal where me and my sisters and my children and my niece were rehearsing to sing for my mother's funeral. Someone shows up with some leggings on, with their panty line showing, and a bonnet on in the church, knowing that that's the polar opposite of what their mother stood for. Then that same someone had two best friends in high school that she hadn't talked to in years. One of them kept up with me, did my hair, did my mama hair. Our sons are hanging out. I'm spending the night at your house. You still my sister. Shows up to the funeral, stands up at the funeral. Don't acknowledge me. Lies and say that she was only doing my mama hair. Both of these young women come to the repast, sit at the table. Don't speak to me and my children at all. I say something loud and life-threatening, and my big sister eyes flash because everybody know how I am. And I laugh about it. Then I end up getting home after going on vacation from my mother's death to run into someone trying to take my kids away from me, specifically my son, because my daughter was 17, 18, almost 18 already. And knowing that my big cousin and other family members had something to do with it, because the flowers that I made for my mother's repast was on my back porch that I hadn't been able to assess in like 2 years. But my big cousin had left to go back home without saying nothing. So she was the only person in my apartment. So this is why I don't like y'all. It's about 80% of people who I know and that I'm related to that I will never fool with again. TikTok, I hope y'all beware. If you ever lose a parent or somebody real close, all hell is going to break loose. So my mother would be proud that I didn't end up in jail or put nobody in the hospital. Yet she wouldn't have been surprised. Then my uncle got up at the funeral and his wife and made the comments about them, and another pastor tried to preach the funeral knowing my daddy was doing it. But hey, food for thought.